motivation. You know, the advice he gave me made me like $50,000 in 1 hour. A super fucking human. He just doesn't give up. He doesn't quit. He's one of the most well-known salespeople out there, sales trainers in the fucking country. Very impressive guy. Give it up to my guy, Max Jimenez, baby.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Closers Lab. I'm Max Jimenez, your host of the Closers Lab. If you have not ever been on the show before or attended this show, we are live. So what that means is that I want you to ask your questions, leave comments, and today's show is a little different than Thursday. So if you've been on this one before, you know what we do here today is we talk about cold calling. Not only do we talk about it, but we also do some cold calls, right? We talk about the intro, we talk about the pitch, we talk about the conversion of a cold lead, and then what's your outcome that you want on the cold calls. So let a couple people jump on. Guys, thank you everybody for that's here already tuning in. Remember, this is a live show. I want you to bring your questions, your comments, your concerns, everything that you can think of that I can help you with. And one of the things I want to start doing is besides the call, I want to dive a little, maybe make it half calls, half a little bit, talk about certain points, which is actually going to do that today. The one thing I ask is that you guys know that I love doing this. I love giving back. And what I want to do today is I got something special for you guys. So I'm going to let before I get started, I'm going to let a couple more people jump on. And what I want to do is show you guys top 4 objections that you get when you're cold calling. And I'm going to show you and I'm going to give you those as well too. So that way, sorry, I'm going to put the link in the comment section so that way you guys can get it. So share this with someone, like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, guys, I'm getting ready to drop some incredible content. I have a meeting today at 1 o'clock with a virtual assistant that I'm going to, that's going to be helping me to break down my content. And not only this content, but I'm going to basically other stuff like tomorrow. Oh, that's the other thing too, guys. I have a link that I have below for Wednesday. I'm going live at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time. And I want to be talking to you about one of my favorite subjects, which is sales appointment etiquette. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if it's on the phone. It doesn't matter if it's in person. Guys, I've attended hundreds of in-person appointments from 2015 until present, which I still do, right? And the phone calls, that's probably in the thousands, right? I think if I don't know, I lost count how many people I've talked to over the phone, how many deals I've negotiated over the phone. So what I want to do on the call tomorrow is I want to talk about a sales appointment etiquette. Now, what that means is that I'm going to be talking about a couple of things that you can do before, during, and after your sales meeting, so that way you have a higher percentage of conversion. So if you have not signed up or registered for that, I highly recommend it. It's totally free, 100%. Like I always do, guys, that's going to be amazing. So I'm going to break that down to help you guys. You know, when you attend so many appointments, whether it's physical and when you have so many phone calls, you learn a thing or two of what not to do, right? After getting your face kicked in for so long, what happens is that you start to learn certain things of what to do, what not to do. And like I said, after going to hundreds of in-person appointments, and not only in-person appointments, but having close to thousands or even more than 1,000 phone sales calls since I've been doing this, I've learned a thing or two to go. But so the link will be below. Make sure that you register for that. It's totally free. 100% is going to be through Zoom. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys on here. And then again, if you guys are on the Zoom, I'm going to give you the top 4 objections and rebuttals that you do get when you're cold calling. I'm going to go through those before I start making calls, but I want to get some of your guys' comments, see what's going on. Where are you guys tuning in from? Put in the comment section, drop some fire emojis. Sabrina Ochoa said, Max, you are the best closer. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that, Sabrina. And let's see. Ken Fulton said, Max, I've had a rough session yesterday. How do you keep yourself motivated after 3 people have cursed you out? Oh man, you know what, it Ken? That's part of the game, bro. Like three people is not. You're gonna get cursed out a lot more. Let's just put it that way, brother. So one of the things that I always that I got asked this a while back on on a podcast. They said, Max, what was it that drove you? Right? What was it that kept you going through it, amidst through all the adversity and everything that you needed to get through? And the one thing was simple for me is that I was tired of my situation. Listen, when you get tired of your situation, this is where most people fail, is they get into it. And I'm not saying you're doing this, Ken, but most people get into this because to make money, right? But in reality, what happens is that because Instagram makes it look easy, social media makes it look easy. Like, sure, hop on the phones and you're gonna make 100,000 in your what is it called, in your first month. And so for me, it was a little different. For me, I was tired of the way I was living. I was tired of my situation. I didn't want to live paycheck to paycheck. So what I that's you got to find out what's driving you. Why are you doing this? Remember that why. What is your why? And above your why is that is you need to figure out who you're doing it for, right? At the end of the day, is it for the things that you're seeing on Instagram, or is it because you want to change your situation? So, but you got to keep pushing, bro. Figure out why you're doing this. And the other thing I want to say is that I've never ever met any of these individuals. Sorry, not met. I shouldn't say that word. I've never seen any of these individuals that I talked to at my grocery store, at the gas station, at my church. I've never. So and a good book to help you out with is called 11 Principles of Success. 11 Principles of Success, because it's going to help you to learn how to separate your identity, who you are, and your role. Listen, what you do is your role. So what's happening here is it's in your role. It's not your identity. So you have to learn how to separate those. So Javier says, good morning, everyone. Hope you're killing it today. Let's go, Javier. Appreciate that encouragement. Let's do it. Good morning to you too as well, brother. Ariel says is in the house from Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'm assuming squad up. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Matt Levine says, hey, Max, excited to be here. I'm excited to have you here, man. If it wasn't for you guys, I couldn't do the show. Just had a good call. I'm making a solid sales process. I love that. Guys, if you don't have a sales process, I always say this, a salesperson without a sales system is going to unwillingly default to the prospect sales system. I didn't come up with that quote. That was David Sandler, right? And what that means is that prospects that you meet and talk to, they have a sales system, regardless of how bad or how good or how, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you come in without your own sales system, you're going to unwillingly default to your prospect sales system, if that makes sense. Armando, what's up, bro? How's it going? Houston in the house. I love it. LA in the house. Another one from LA. Let's go. LA representing today. Steven, appreciate the fire emojis. Dallas in the house. I love it. Matt says, here from Trevor Group in Philly. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I love it. Thank you, Matt, for joining it. Ethan said, Portland, Oregon in the house. I love it. Thank you, man, for joining. Hey, Max, I have a lead for you in this live call. How can I send you the seller's info? So on this call here, what I specifically like to do is talk about cold calling. So if it's a lead you want me to call, you can definitely put it in the spreadsheet below, and make sure that you send me a DM through Instagram so I can take a look at it. Okay. Let's see. JP Slaughter, what's going on, bro? Mateo said, thank you, Max, for bringing value every single week. Much appreciated. Of course, you're welcome, brother. This is what I do. The one comment earlier said, Max, you're the best closer. I don't do this to show you that I'm the best. I do this to show you that I have a passion for it. And that's what separates for me. A lot of guys like to say I'm the best closer and I have the best skills. Listen, it doesn't matter if you have the best strategies. I have a passion for this. I respect my craft. I invested in it. I can tell you that right now that you guys know this, right? You guys have been tuning in here, is that I don't just talk about tactics. That's okay if somebody else wants to do that, but not on this, not on the Closers Live. We don't just talk about tactics. We talk about mindset. We talk about why we approach certain things. And here's what I'm going to say to you guys. You can just jump on the phones if you want, but the problem is that always going to default to your highest level of training. Remember that. Write that down. You're always going to default to your highest level of training. That's why that's why I rather dive deeper than be very shallow. Because what happens, you're going to run into situations where you're going to, if let's say that, your highest level of training is only tactics. Well, it's going to be very hard when you're starting to get, shots from, when you're starting to get like objections from the prospect. So write that down. You're always going to default. And tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm going to talk about this. So if you guys have not registered, I just said this earlier, go register now. The link's below. Well, not right now, but after the Closers Lab show. It says, who is the author of the 11 Principles of Success? Is I believe is Dave Matson. It's a great book. Claudio, what's up, brother? Class in session. Let's go, baby. I appreciate it. Edward, all the way from Georgia. Ray, what's going on? H down in the house, brother. I'll be in, hopefully I'll see you, bro. I'll be in Houston, I want to say the 24th through the 26th. I'll be over at Ricardo Rosales' event. I'm looking forward to that and meeting some of you guys that are there in Houston. So let's see. Manuel said, is there a SAP button this time? Guys, if you don't know what a SAP button is to translate when I'm talking in Spanish. We had a lead in Spanish last week, and Manuel was like, you need a SAP button, bro, so we can translate it. Right, Javier? It's funny. Let's see. Sebastian said, just finished up a seller call. Glad to be here. Awesome, man. I appreciate you. Glad to have you. Ray, okay, cool, man. Let's hit me up, bro. I want to connect with you. If you got anyone that's in Houston that wants to come say hello, if you want a mastermind, we can do that. I'm open to it. Like I said, I'll be there from the 24th through the 26th. And I want to make sure that I get to meet all of you guys in person and say hello. So I know I met quite a bit of you guys. And Houston represents, man. Let me tell you something, man. Houston represents. Like there's no other market like Houston. Man, they represent. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of here in Phoenix, right? I think it's getting like that. And so is Texas in general. But so cool. Enough talking. I want to do something for you guys today before I jump on the phones. Something I want to do is I want to show you guys what my my top 4. Now, they're not top. I just named them that. My top 4 objections and rebuttals. The reason why I named them my top 4 is because one thing that I always say here is that you only have about, I want to say 10 to 15 seconds to get the conversation going with the prospect, right? Especially when you're cold calling. So what I want to show you is that I want to show you how to overcome those objections. And that way you can have a rebuttal for them, right? And not get stuck. Now, are these the best ones out there? I don't know. Maybe. Are these the only ones out there? Absolutely not. So basically what I'm telling you is that these are the ones that work for what I believe when I'm cold calling. They work for me. They've been tested time and time again. And, and I'm a big believer in them, and I think they'll work. But let me see. Let me share my screen with you guys really quick. So I'm going to, oh man, hold on real quick. What is going on? All right, cool guys. Keep the questions coming, your comments, everything. All right, here we go. So see if I can add this to it. Okay, perfect. Let me know if you guys can see that. Okay. So the first one that when you're cold calling, you're going to get this a lot, right? Is, how did you get my information? I know that a lot of times that's like a very, very general one that you get a lot. And there's many ways you can answer this. I know a couple people that I know, they'll just say, hey, I skip trace your number, right? And that's okay. It works. I never said that these were the best. And I never said these were the only ones, but I'm telling you, these work really well. And I'm going to explain something on this one, why we use this one, right? So every time that a prospect asks you questions, you need to make sure that you are acknowledging the question. But as soon as you acknowledge the question, you can actually deflect, right? So you acknowledge, you answer it, or you acknowledge it, you acknowledge the question by answering it, and then what you do is you deflect. So what I mean by that is if when someone asks me, and I think you guys have heard this on the call, is how did you get my information? For me, I'm going to answer that, hey, that's a fair concern. We use a third party company that provides us with all our files. Are you still considering selling that property? You see what I did is I just answered the question and then I deflected. I don't want to create, and the reason why is because I don't want to create any other unnecessary objections. The less you say, the more you say. The less you say, the more you say, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of weird, but the less you say, the more you're saying, because now in basically what you're doing is you're telling the prospect, like, okay, Mr. Homeowner, I'm going to answer that question, but now you're going to answer a question of mine. Hopefully that makes sense. So if someone asks me, how did you get my information? I like to keep it very simple. And then I go back to the reason I'm calling, right? Or so we use a third party company that provides us with all our files. Are you still considering selling? So what that does is, again, acknowledges the question by answering it and then deflects it. I don't want to say more than that. And like I said, there's other ways that you can actually answer that question. But for me, after thousands of calls, maybe even more than that, this has worked really well. And what I can tell you, the amount of people that have asked me who's that third party company is very, very, I would say, like less than 1%. Now, if somebody does ask you that, who is that third party company? What you could say is, look, I have no idea. We use multiple third party companies, so I couldn't tell you exactly which one it was. Are you still considering selling? Again, acknowledging, right? And acknowledging the question by answering it and then deflecting right away. Let me know if you have any questions on that first one before I jump to the second one, because I think it's important to basically, make sure that when you're talking to prospects, especially if they're engaging. Now, if they're asking questions about who you are, your personal information, like your first and last name, like I did last week, I think it was, I'm moving on pretty fast. But if they're genuine, remember, prospects would genuinely ask you, like, how did you get my information? They're not all of them are fishing. Remember that you have to be very aware of that they're not all fishing for your information, your company information. A lot of times they do genuinely just want to know, like, how did you get my information? So let's see. I'm going to go through this and then drop your questions for me, please. And then that way, and then I'll go through each one if you guys do have questions. So the next one is, what company are you with? Now, this happens not just with cold calling, but also with follow-ups. This happens quite a bit, right? And if you have not established a relationship with a prospect, then I suggest that you probably shouldn't tell them your company name yet, because you have to be careful, right? Even though you scrub your list, you're removing, you are removing litigators from your list. What could potentially happen is that, one can slip through. The not any system is basic, what do you call it? Perfect. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm not playing one. I'm not acting like one. I'm just telling you what works and what we've done and what I've done on the phones, right? So when they ask me, what company are you with? Typically, three things. Here's one thing you're going to see here. I'm with Direct Home Buyers. We buy properties nationwide. What has you considering selling? Now, if this is a question in a text, then you see what I did there is I capitalized Direct Home Buyers. That's just a tip, FYI, capitalize Direct Home Buyers. And it's a deflection question, right? And what I can tell you from the thousands of calls that I've done, I have never had anyone ask me for the information for Direct Home Buyers. And we are, right? And here's the thing is that we are Direct Home Buyers. I'm with Direct Home Buyers because, I am a Direct Home Buyers. Again, acknowledging the question, what company are you with? And then we buy properties nationwide. What has you considering selling that property? So we're answering the question, we're acknowledging the prospect, and then what we're doing, again, we're deflecting, right? What has you considering selling? Now, this happens, like I said, not only in cold calling, but also when you're doing follow-ups, right? And like I said, a lot of times on your follow-ups, you may have not established a relationship yet on your follow-ups. So be careful with that. This is just, use this at your own discretion. Again, I know that I've used this on the phones. If you want to change it to something else, you're more than welcome to. What I can tell you is that this has worked really, really, really well for us. It's something that I've used, you know, thousands of times. I'm with direct home buyers, and it never backfires. And so the other thing I like to tell them too is that you know, hey, we buy properties nationwide, and that way they understand and know that you know, we're a nationwide company. If that makes sense. So the other one is, where are you located? Again, we're nationwide buyers, centrally located in Arizona, but we do buy properties nationwide. You know, what has you? Tell me more about your property, right? Or what has you consider? Again, you can use the same thing. What has you considering selling that one? If you guys notice, it's always the same thing in the end, because what we want to do is we want to deflect the conversation back to why we originally started. So that way, it puts the prospect on notice, like, you know, hey, we answer your question, and now you're going to answer ours, right? That's what we want to do. And then that way, if we want to get the conversation going, because here's the thing, man. I see a lot of people, and I see, especially when they're on the phones, say more than what they need to, way too much. And what happens is you talk yourself out of the conversation by creating unnecessary objections, unnecessary problems, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be creating yourself, you know, unnecessary objections. That's one thing that a script is for. This is the only reason why you should be using a script, right? Professionals use a script for one reason, because it helps to guide the conversation, and also it helps to for you to stay on track. The third thing, which is my favorite, the reason for that you want to have a script is because it helps you to not only keep the conversation and like, you know, keep going the right way, but it helps you so you don't create any unnecessary objections. Because the last thing you want to be doing is talking to a prospect and then you're creating objections for yourself by saying more than what you need to. This is why it's important to make sure that when you're creating your script, you know, again, you have to improvise a little because prospects are going to throw things at you. But if you're not using a script, I recommend using a script so that way, you know, again, that way you're navigating the conversation to where you want it to, and then you're not creating any unnecessary objections because you're you know, you're what do you call it, you're using the script to follow and keep the conversation guided. Guys, if you're finding value in this, let me know. Drop some fire emojis, some thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think so far. You know, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Drop some fire emojis if you believe that if you use these. Before I touch on the last one, if you believe you could use, if you believe you have ran into these and maybe you spoke too much or you said too much, and if these will help you, so that way you can start using these. Drop some fire emojis, drop some thumbs up in the comment section if you think that these would be very beneficial when you're talking to people or when you're cold calling to have a better chance to have the conversation. And then that way, and let me know if you have any questions, if my explanation for each one makes sense, because I want to make sure that you guys understand why I say certain things. And that's one thing that I strive to do on the Closers Lab, is that I want to make sure that whatever I present to you is not something that I'm just making up, right? I want to make sure that why do I use it? What's the explanation behind it? But I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Appreciate the fire emojis. Let's see. Matt said, love it. Appreciate it. Thank you, Matt. Jesus, thank you for the fire emojis. Appreciate it. Javier, thank you for the fire emojis, bro. I appreciate it too a lot. So thank you guys. This helps me out a lot to make sure that I'm staying on track with the content, and also make sure that I'm, you know, providing the value that what you guys are here for. So, all right. So last one for these right here. Right? How many of us have heard this? Make me an offer, you call me. I left that at the end. These are in no way in order, but I did intentionally left this one to the end, because I believe it or not, this is probably the most common one that we get, besides how did you get my information? And basically, what happens is that, you know, they say, hey, you call me, make me an offer. You call me first. You know, you're the one that's your team members are the ones that reach out to me. Make me an offer. And again, I'm a big believer in acknowledging the prospect's question. I did call you. May I ask you some questions to help me determine what I can offer? Now, I left that really simple because this is for cold calling. If we were doing follow-ups, it would be a little bit different, right? On follow-ups, I go more detailed. I add more stuff, hey, the last time you bought a property, when you made an offer, or the last time you bought a property, when you bought it, did you just make the offer, or how did that process look? And then I want them to tell me, no, I went through an agent, whatever the case may be. But this one, I kept it simple because, I know that this is going to happen when you're cold calling. You're going to get this a lot. Make me an offer, you call me. And it's simple, right? Yeah, I did call you. No, that's fair. Can I ask you a few questions to help me determine what I can offer maybe later on in the call? Now, don't leave it there. Again, I simplified it. You can basically and basically you can what do you call it? What is it called? Modify it to fit your style. Okay, so you need it to fit your style. So that's why I left this at the end, because it is the most common one. It's the one that we get the most while we're calling. I did call you. May I ask you some questions to help you determine what I can offer? And again, real simple, right? Nothing too crazy. Now, if a prospect does not want to even acknowledge or even engage with you, then this question is going to allow you to identify that this is a suspect right off the bat. This is a suspect. This is not a prospect. What you want to do is you want to move on as fast as possible. Run for your life. So you want to make sure that that you do that. So so there they are, right? Again, I call them top 4 for cold calling. Again, are they the best ones? I never said that. Are they the only ones? Absolutely not. They're the ones that I've used. They're the ones that I've come up with. Going out again, getting beat up on the phones, going back to my sales coach and asking him, "Hey, here's what's happening." Okay, and then he would help me put it together. But I would go out. I'm the one that was going out, getting the experience, getting beat up, getting yelled at, right, Ken? Getting cussed out at, and so I put this together, based on the experience. So how did you get I'm going to run through the 4 again real quick. How did you get my information? Hey, that's a fair question. We use a third-party company that provides all our files with us. Are you still considering selling that property over at 123 Main Street? Second question is, what company are you with? Hey, I'm with Direct Home Buyers. We buy properties nationwide. What has you considering selling that one, right? And then, where are you located? So this is for all you guys doing virtual. If you get asked that question, you have to be careful not to say, "Hey, I'm local." Let's say I was calling Texas and I say, "No, I'm local to the market." You get a good conversation going, and then they say, "When can you come over to look at the house, you yourself personally?" Then you have to backtrack. And then the last one, which is very, very, very common in cold calling, is make me an offer, you called me. And again, acknowledging, hey, I did call you. May I ask you some questions to help me determine what I can offer later on the call? That's another piece that you can add. Hey, because obviously you don't want them to think that you're going to give them the offer right away. So to bring this back really quick. Hopefully you guys got value out of that. I wanted to show you that before, I jumped into the calls, and then that way you guys can get a visual of those objections. And I'm going to give them, everybody that's been that was on the live is going to get this. I'm going to give it to you for free, so that way you can go for it. So let's see. Jay says, what's up? What's up, man? Thanks for the game you put out. San Diego, squad up. Let's go. Love it. Love it. Let's see. At what point in the conversation do you ask if anyone else will have an input on the property? So it depends if you're in a negotiations phase, especially when it comes to the money part. So what I like is obviously you start off with a bonding report. You go in discovery, right? You set your advance agreement. And then the other thing too is, once you start talking about motivation, somewhere between motivation, pain, and time, or somewhere between motivation, time frame, and pain, I guess. Or sorry, not pain, motivation, time frame, and money. Somewhere in between those three, it's going to call to find out, because and here's the way you know this is if there's a lot of hesitation from answering, there's probably going to be someone else involved, and you want to call that out. So Fred Green said, thanks for the stream. Of course, brother, you're welcome. And I think we read that comment. Matt, appreciate you. Sabrina said, great tips. Thank you, Max. You're welcome. Ethan said, man, I've trained a lot of cold callers before switching to investing, and you're always on point. Love seeing this stuff applied in real estate. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for that. Let's see. Max, turn on the super chat. I feel compelled to pay for this game. Bro, my mission is to give back. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. It tells me that I'm doing the right thing. When I see comments like that, when I see, the feedback, it definitely means a lot to me. So cool. So, let me get some coffee so I can get going. So, okay, cool. So I wanted to show you guys that. Let me know, if you want those. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to basically give it to everybody that's on the live, and then you guys can call it. So who's ready for some phone calls? Let's see. Drop some fire emojis. There's two more questions. Drop some fire emojis, some thumbs up if you're ready for some calls. Let's see. Sebastian said, my follow-up question is, I got a number from the seller. It didn't sound like there was a ton of certainty, so I cut off the call and set up a call with her husband and her. Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what you should do. I love it, man. I love it. Guys, drop some fire emojis, thumbs up if you're ready for us to do some cold calling, answer your question. Listening to Can't Teach a Kid is fire. Going to invest in the paperback so I can thoroughly study. Yes, get the book. Desiree, I appreciate it. Thank you for dropping the diamonds. Thank you. Let's go. Jesus says fire. Leo, appreciate it, bro. What's going on, brother? Ray, thank you, brother. I appreciate it as well. Let's see. Let me start up the dialer, and let's see if we can get somebody on the phone, and let's talk to them. Okay, so we're ready here. And keep bringing your questions, guys. I love it. There's some that are coming in. I'll get to those once I get the dialer going.
Using your touchtone phone, please. You are now logged into the mobile. Please press the start button on your screen to begin calling.
All right, cool. All right, Stein, let's see.
The number 623-780-8523 is in service. Please try your call.
Let's see. How do you comp a triplex and duplex? Real easy.
Please leave your message for.
So on those, if you with the triplex and duplexes, they're real easy to comp because you're going to use the same comparables. If you don't, you find out if there's other duplexes and triplexes in the area, so you can compare them to those work a little bit different than your bigger complexes when you're doing 5 or more, or 10 or 20, because those then become about what's the net operating income, where these can still be comped. Where these can still be comped, just like a regular single family house, as long as it's another what is it called? Another triplex or duplex. If for some reason you can't find the comps, then find out how much they're renting for. Find out how much they're renting for, and then find out how much utilities are, who's paying utilities, and things like that. But they should be really easy when you're comping duplexes and triplex. Those are the easier ones. Hi, Max.
Please leave your message for.
Says, hi, Max. How do you response to questions when, sorry, looks like somebody tried to pick up. To questions when they ask you what makes you different from people who make random calls like you. I'll answer that really quick. I'll answer that right now. Okay, V, hold on. What is going on here? Interesting. Bear with me, guys. Trying to see what's going on with the dialer here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. Actually, what I'm gonna do is switch screens here really quick. Yeah, one of my screens is acting crazy. Little technical difficulty. We'll get through it. All right. So let's get back to you guys. See, hi Max. How do you respond to questions when they ask you what makes you different from people who make random calls like you? Hello, James.
Who's calling?
Hi, James. It's Max. I don't know if you can help me. I've been trying to reach the owner of 67 East Vernon Avenue in Phoenix. All right. Looks like we hung up. So one of the things that I always say is that any questions like that our prospects ask, they usually have the answers, right? I would just simply say, hey, V, just out of curiosity, what would you need to see or hear to make you feel comfortable, you know, to even talk to someone like me or to do business with someone like myself? Really simple, right? Because if they ask that, if they ask that question and you give them an answer that they don't like, or let's say that you give them an answer that's just like a random answer, or it sounds like you're trying to justify who you are, things like that. They don't, because they don't people don't argue with their own data, right? So if you ask a question like, hey, if you ask that question where it's what do you need to see or hear to make. Hello, Sherman.
Yes.
Hi, Sherman. It's Max. I don't know if you can help me. I've been trying to reach the owner of North 26th Street in Cape Creek.
What address?
I believe it's 38951.
38951.
Yeah, is that your property?
That's my house, yes.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm calling you because we're looking to buy a couple properties in that area. You probably wouldn't consider selling that one.
No, we're not interested.
Okay. Do you have any other properties you would consider selling besides that one?
No, I don't. I wish I did, but I don't.
No, that's okay. I appreciate it, though. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. So not interested. So before I go to the next call, let me finish answering the question. So it's just a matter of getting the seller to tell you, like, you know, because you can justify yourself all day, and you can do it through a third party. You don't have to be very direct. Like I would say, hey V, you know, that's a fair question. You know, I was talking to Johnny, or I was talking to Ken, and Ken asked me a similar question. Wanted to know, you know, how are we different, and you know why he should do business with us. And one of the things I asked Ken was, hey Ken, I appreciate the concern. You know, let's pretend. You know, what do you need to hear, or what do you need to see to make you feel comfortable to, you know, have a conversation with me or even do business with me? So I figured, you know, and he told me, and for you, what would that be, V? And so they're going to tell you what it is that's going to make them feel comfortable. Only they have the answer, if that makes sense. Sabrina says, let's go. Let's see. Desiree said, hi, Max. How does the dialer system work? Which dialer system do you recommend for newbies, smaller teams? How do you connect with the dialer to list your pool? Woo! A lot of questions, Desiree. What I could tell you is right off the back, if you are new, go ahead and use. I would start with the Mojo dialer because it's the simplest to use. And what's cool about the Mojo dialer, even though it's not the best dialer itself, but it is basically great for setting up your. It has a CRM already implemented or in it within the dialer or in the system. Sorry. And it's going to help you to stay organized. So you don't need to. So if you're first starting out, Mojo Dialer is great because you can upload the list and start the dialer up. It'll append the fields, which means that it'll do it automatically for you: phone number, name, last name, things like that, address, and then you can set appointments. And what's cool is, let's say that you have an appointment set up for tomorrow, it'll actually email you and say, hey, here's what's going on for the day. So I always recommend the Mojo Dialer for newbies, but as you go, you do have to make a change because that's not what's going to keep you sustainable. So Jonathan said, ¿Qué onda, bro? ¿Cómo estás? Max, what's your take on text campaigns? I think text is, as far as mass texting, is dead or on life support. But I know a lot of people who still send out niche text and niche list. So it works. Hey, Max, which list are you finding the most success with so far? So this one that I have here is a mixture. It's a stack list, like a super niche stack list. So basically it's individuals that have 5 or more distresses. I think those are the best lists when it comes to the hotter list. Hello, Justin.
Hello?
Hi, Justin.
Yeah. Who is this?
Hey, Justin, it's Max. I don't know if you can help me. I've been trying to reach the owner of the property over at North 150th Avenue in Goodyear.
Do you have a number I can give them?
Are you the owner? You're not the owner then, I mean?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll call later. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, a stack list will work. It's definitely if you can do, like, there's some systems like Batch has a Batch lead stacker. Also you can do it on if you're starting out, you can also do it on spreadsheet. It's a pain though. I wouldn't recommend. I would invest a little bit of money and get the stacker. So let's see. Thinking about text blasting my Spanish speaking sellers, is that a wise move? I mean, you never know till you try it, bro. It's trial and error. Listen, marketing, remember, we're in the marketing and sales business. That's one thing that people forget, right? That get into wholesaling or get into real estate like this, is we're in the marketing and sales business. So everything in marketing is trial, right? You don't know if it's going to work, but as you do it, as you see it, you start building key performing indicators, KPIs. And then you say, wow, I send out 100 text messages. I got a 20% reply rate. And out of that 20%, I got a 5% conversion. Let's do another 200. And you're playing with percentages. There's not 100% accuracy when it comes to marketing, if that makes sense. So try it out and see what happens. I mean, you won't know. If you don't get anything, then it was a bad move. Let's see. Jared said, what are some good questions to shorten a seller timeline? That's actually really good. So depends on the situation. You can ask like, hey, I have a video called Bringing the Future to the Present. Something you want to go check out. It's on my YouTube channel. Write that down, Jared. It's on my YouTube channel. It's called Bringing the Future to the Present. And I talk about a lot of strategies that you can use to bring up any situation that you can use to be able to basically shorten that timeline with any of your prospects, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of times what happens with prospects is a lot of them aren't ready in a position to make a decision. So it's your job as a professional to help them. And in that video, I talk about exactly what I did with the prospect, and I got the contract, right? I break down. I break down step by step how the appointment went, how the call went, and that'll help you out for that to be able to do that. V said that's so helpful. Thank you, Max. You're welcome. I'm glad that that answer helped you a lot. Again, I'm a big believer that I like to ask what what they think they need to hear, because it's going to they don't argue with their own data at the end of the day. Like if you tell them, hey, this is the reason why you got to trust me, like the last thing they're going to do is trust you, if that makes sense. Says Mauricio said currently listening to Chris Voss's book. Bro, I love it. That book is amazing. I love it. Good way to take action too as well, man.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after.
All right. Ken, there you go. I'm in Houston. My girl can call your Spanish leads for you. Boom. There you go. Collab, guys. I love it. Collaborating already. Desiree said, thank you, Max. I will look into the Mojo dialer. Yeah, 100%. I'd say go for it. Look into it. You can buy the single dialer, triple dialer. Like I said, it's a good way to get get in the game, and and you don't invest a lot of money. And like I said, what's cool is that it's going to help you to stay organized with your leads and to stay organized with your day as well too, without needing to buy a CRM or have a CRM in place. So it's definitely a great tool. But as you grow, you obviously have to make adjustments, and you have to buy better systems, for, let's say, because I'm a big. Hello, Jeanette.
This is her.
Hi, Jeanette. My name is Max. I don't know if you can help me. I've been trying to reach the owner of West Willow Bend Lane in Phoenix.
No, I'm not able to help you with that.
Okay, sounds good. You have no relations to that property?
I'm sorry?
You have no
What is this
relation.
for?
Well, I was just hoping to talk to the owner, but if you're not the owner, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Okay. Let's see. Oscar Gonzalez says, your opinion on the best way to present an offer. What happens a lot of times is that there's multiple ways. If you watch any of my Thursday show,
Please leave your message for 5.
if you, hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi. May I speak with Beatrice?
No, you put wrong number.
Oh, wrong number. Okay, thank you. Bye. So there's many ways. If you watch my show on Thursdays, I actually present offers there, or I get the number from the seller. Because we can do a whole show about that. There's ways to anchor. Let's pretend someone wants to offer you, between XYZ, what would happen next. One thing that I'm big on, though, that I can tell you is I'm really, really big on leverage. I'm really big on holding leverage to make sure that I maintain my position. So I don't present offers in a way that basically comes off as I'm the one making the offer. I'm usually saying, hey, let's pretend, hey, other investors in the area are paying, because then I want to see how flexible the prospect is that I'm talking to, right? And when I'm presenting my my offer, when I'm actually going to go to paper, right? Hello, Beatrice.
Hello?
Hi, Beatrice.
Yes?
Hi, my name is Max. I don't know if you can help me. I've been trying to reach the owner of West Friar Drive.
Speaking?
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm calling you because we're looking to buy a couple properties in that area. You probably wouldn't consider selling that one?
No.
Okay. Do you have any other properties you would consider selling?
No.
All right. Well, thank you. You have a good day, okay?
You too, bye.
Bye. All right, so we made contact on that one. Let me get back to here. Oh, yes. So I'm really huge on maintaining leverage and positioning. And so when it comes to making offers, they actually don't know my number till like the very end. Now, am I potentially going to lose a deal because of that? Maybe, but I can tell you is that most likely than not, I'm gonna get more deals because they don't know my number and they're always gonna come back for the most part, right? So when I'm presenting offers, and again, the way you know which calls are different is by the date, obviously, but now I changed them. Like on Tuesdays, I put wholesale real estate cold call, and then the Thursday calls are live real estate negotiation calls. So those are the Thursday ones. Those are the ones where I do master negotiations. We talk about how to negotiate, how to present, and how to present an offer. And so that way you can go back and watch that. I've done it multiple times on those calls. So hopefully that helps. How would you build a bigger buyers list? I don't know. I think you're in Canada, Sebastian. I'm not sure if you can pull list. Realtors, maybe a realtor can help you, a title company by giving you like all the cash transactions that have happened. I mean, that's one way. If you don't have a way to pull list. So that would be, squat up with, with a real estate agent or basically a title company that can help you to pull those records. Not sure if in the US you guys have a cash buyers list you can pull. Here I bought a realtors list and have pulled some emails from the investors group.
6032000.
Yeah, no, you could definitely buy a list here. I mean, that's, you can pull a list of all the cash transactions. There's actually a system called Investor Lift as well. Hello, Nathan. Got the wrong number. All right, hung up. Yeah, you can definitely buy list here in the US. I'm not sure if you can in Canada. I believe you had mentioned that we can't. Let's see. Anyone in Modesto, Stockton area, let's squat up. Yes, that's my boy Jesus. Squat up with him. The guy's legit. If you guys are in the Modesto, Stockton, or the Turlock, California area, guys, squat up with him. Real deal. Guy's doing flips. He's been doing it for quite a while now. So squat up with him, and connect with him. Shoot him a DM, and so that way you can do some business with him. Let's see. Oscar said, "I'm in the Modesto area. You have probably seen my bandit signs around." Probably. Hello, Curtis. My name is Max, and I don't know if you can help me, but I've been trying to reach the owner of the property over at West Planeta Lane in Glendale.
What do you need?
Well, are you the owner?
Yep.
Okay, I appreciate that. And like I said, my name is Max. I'm calling you because we are looking to buy a couple properties in that area. Would you consider selling that one?
We just moved there. No.
Oh, did you? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll make sure I notate that. What about any other properties you would consider selling? You don't have any?
Nope. I'm out. I'm done.
You sold all of them already? Done?
Everything. Yep.
Got it. All right. Sounds good,
Yeah.
Curtis. Take care, man. I'll make sure I notate that.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So do not interested. Contact. Awesome question, guys, by the way. Let me know if you let me see. Nobody's picking up. Have conversations today.
58207.
Bueno, Olivia. Manuel and Ken, this is for you. Sí, bueno, Olivia, ¿me escucha? Oh, she hung up. You guys got lucky. Oh, man. She hung up. Let's see if I can redial her. I was just about to talk Spanish for you guys.
Voice message system 6169.
How do you handle the wife rebuttal? That goes back to the question earlier, the influencer question. I don't know if that was you that asked that. Is you need to make sure that before you before you make your offer, before you give them your information, before you before you lose your leverage, is there anyone else that's going to have an influence on the sale of this property? Now, that's before they get your commitment, right? Because we know, we know that that when you're talking to, especially a guy, and you ask them, "Are you the only decision maker?" 9 out of 10 times they're gonna say yes, and then they get your information, they get your number, they get your knowledge, and then, hey, I got to talk to the wife. So what you need to do before that, you need to ask them, hey, and stop using the word decision makers. I'm not saying you're using it, Oscar, but stop using the word decision maker. There's only Hello, Christopher.
Hello?
Hello.
Mr. Christopher? Yes.
Oh, hi, Mr. Christopher. My name is Mr. Max. I was trying to reach the owner of West Mountain View Boulevard.
West Mountain View Boulevard. Well, there's about 250 owners.
Yeah, the unit 911.
Big street. Oh, unit 911. Okay. That's me.
Oh, it is. I appreciate that, Mr. Christopher. And I'm calling because, we are considering buying a couple properties in that area. You wouldn't consider selling that one?
Well, you know what they say, everything has a price. But no,
Got it.
we're not planning to.
Okay. Not planning to?
Unless you're making outrageous offers.
When you say outrageous, what do you mean by that?
I forget it. It's not going to work.
Okay. Well, I'm just
Basically, we're
I'm
not
just trying to,
planning.
yeah. If you're not interested, I understand. I mean, yeah, I'm just following up on your comment. But all right, thank you, Mr. Christopher. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
You do. Bye.
All right, Mr. Christopher started flexing and then deflated his muscles. Let me see. I want to make sure I don't call him back. Tabidi said, turn in late. Glad I made it. Bro, as long as you're here, that's all that matters. With the leads we submit, are those Thursday's calls? And if they aren't called, are they used for the following week? Yes, 100%. Yeah, it goes down the list. I'm actually going to be having my lead manager. For those of you guys that don't know, for those of you guys that don't know and have associated me with the Disruptors brand, you guys obviously know I'm not on that channel no more. I am not associated with the Disruptors brand anymore. As you guys can see, I'm now the Closers Lab brand. So what I'm doing is I'm having a lead manager. I'm actually hiring a lead manager. Actually today, I got a call. So that way, I can hire a lead manager and follow up with a lot of the leads that are there, because we want to make sure that they don't just get called on Thursday, but they get followed up. So Javier said, looking for the SAP button. I know some of you have reached out about that. Hey, Max, I don't hear the calls on the Disruptors podcast anymore. That's why. So, but that's all I'm going to say about it. So don't ask any questions. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Oscar Nasus. There you go, guys. Connect, man. Connect. That's the way you're going to get to do some deals the fastest. Max, I'm late for the show, but I'm here, bro. It's better late than never. So, Sebastian said Mr. Christopher and Mr. Max. That's savage mirroring. Honestly, I oh, I'm sorry. I probably have the wrong number. I was looking for Robert Wild.
No, this is a Starbucks.
Oh, it is a Starbucks. Sorry. I already have a Starbucks, actually. I just bought a venti. Thank you. Bye. Yeah. And so, I mean, it's part of mirroring. The guy didn't say nothing. It was really normal, right? So let's see. Bro, that's all we get it. That's all we get in call is people flexing on me. Yeah, call it out. Call it out. You guys saw that, right? He's like, unless I get an outrageous offer. Okay, that's fair. So when you say outrageous, what do you mean by that? don't try to just like, figure out what they mean, figure out that mutual mystification. Ask them what that means. Marcus Daniel said, Mr. Max. I thought that was funny too. And I thought I'd do it for you guys so you guys can see that's like next level mirroring. So yeah, this is Mr. Christopher. Oh, hi, Mr. Christopher. This is Mr. Max. I'm calling. And it was like, it was very fluid too. So no pushback on that. m- This guy was asleep when he did the voicemail. Let's see. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the questions.
Hi, this is the Google Assistant. Can I ask what you're calling about?
Yeah, Google Assistants. I don't want to talk to you right now. Going back to your question, Sebastian. This one here is I should have a lead manager today.
With Body Armor Nutrition. Please leave your name, number. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
And definitely it's a goal of mine to get those under contract. So
0, 2, 3, 7.
and so I'm hiring a VA today, or sorry, a lead manager today, so that way they can keep up because my other lead manager is no longer doing it. So so just want to clarify that. But yes, we want to make sure we follow up with them and not just call on the on the day, Thursdays.
Automated voice messaging system.
No contact there. What are some other questions, guys? See, Corey says, "What's up, Max? What's up, bro? I love this channel, bro. You are super authentic. Thank you for giving your time."
Josh Fisher.
You're welcome, brother. I really appreciate that comment, man, honestly, because like I said earlier, right? I don't like, you guys see this on Instagram, you see this on social media a lot where like, I'm the best closer. And honestly, like the name El Cerrador, it was somebody else that one of our students that actually provided that name. And I was like, at first I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that because I'm not the type to do those things, because I have a passion for this. I genuinely care about, my craft, and I don't do this to say I'm the best. I do this because I genuinely care for you to get better. I really want to see, you guys out there having the best conversations with salespeople, having, a great sales process when you're talking on the phones, so you can have a conversion and have that breakthrough, man. Because you pound the phone so much all day, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. And, I feel like, I do it. And I do it my way, right? I don't sit here, crush anyone or anyone else. I do it because I know it works for me. I've done it so long. And that's just it, man. Honestly, I have a passion for it, and it drives me, honestly. Let's see. You're going to be getting some Canadian properties under contract. Let's go. We're going in. Closers Lab is going international. Where it already is, by the way, because you're watching all the way from Canada. So Closers Lab is international now. Oh, by the way, Sebastian, dude, you're killing it with the three text message, or sorry, with the bring them back from the dead messages. You're basically, dude, I think you've had like 3 of them already that have come back from the dead after week or 2 of attempting to contact them. Guys, if you were on last week's live and you got the templates and you haven't used those, Sebastian is crushing it. Like, he's getting the answers he wants. He's getting people to what is it called, to basically call him back. Hello, I'm trying to reach Laura. Oh, hung up. So keep crushing it, bro. Keep using it. It works. Anyone doing deals in Illinois, Indiana, hit me up. Hit up Corey, man. Guys, start collaborating on the comment section. I appreciate it. Javier said, hey, Max, can you go over what you tell a seller if they do tell you they have an influencer when you ask? Yes. So the goal is to figure that out, right? Hey, Javier, is there anyone else that's going to have an influence on the sale of the property? A lot of times, they'll say no. You can take it a step further and say, hey, is there anyone that you would confide in? Like the last time you made a big purchase, did you have to talk to like your pastor, your rabbi, your friend, your brother or whoever, right? And if they say, yes, I do have to talk to my brother. Okay. The next thing that you want to do is try your best, if you can, to figure out if you can have a conversation with both of them on a conference call or on the phone, right? Because the last thing that you want to do is answer, let's say I'm talking to you, Javier, and you got to talk to your brother. The last thing I want is to answer Javier's concerns, questions, and then Javier's going to go talk to his brother, and his brother is going to ask him questions. And guess what? Javier's not going to answer the questions and the concerns like I would. So it's going to get it. There's going to be a lot of loss in translation. So the goal for me would be to say, Javier, that's fair. I do appreciate that you do have to consult with your brother. Before we continue the appointment today, or before we continue the call, just out of curiosity, when can you and I, if you were me, trying to buy the property, when would you set up an appointment for all three of us to talk? Because here's the thing. The last time this happened to me, when there was someone else involved that's going to have an influence on the sale of the property, there was questions, and those questions never made it back to me because they were embarrassed to ask those questions. Does that make sense? So you want to get commitment to see if you can get everybody involved by asking that. Like, Javier, that's fair. I get it. You want to talk to your brother. Hello, Mark. Hello? All right, no contact. I get it. That's fair that you want to talk to your brother. Just out of curiosity, when can you and I and him, talk on the phone, make sure I answer all his questions, concerns, just, with you as well on the phone. So there's nothing lost, because the last time when I had to do this, I didn't jump on the phone with all three. Share a third-party story in that case. So that way, you let them know like what happened. Not and it removes him from the picture, to actually, that he's not going to, you're already experiencing this situation. You know what I mean? It doesn't. So hopefully that helps, Javier. Mauricio said, how do you approach people when they say they've got a realtor that says their property is worth more than what you're offering? That is not a motivated prospect, man. If they're wanting more, then, it's, remember, you're a sifter, not a convincer. You're in the sifting business, not in the convincing business. So if you have somebody that wants you to convince them that their realtor said that their property is worth more than what you're offering, then you say, hey, go ahead, you move on from that. I don't know. Again, I don't know the whole story behind the call, or behind the situation, but I don't convince people, right? Because remember what I said earlier, people don't argue with their own data, right? Anything anyone says is gospel to them. And you can put yourself in that position, right? If you believe in something and somebody comes and tries to discourage you, it's, you're going to say no, you're going to hold on to your belief. So it's the same thing. So, I mean, there's a couple of things you can try to do, but honestly, for the most part, I'm moving on as fast as possible, because I'm not in the convincing business. I would just say, hey, so it sounds like the realtor is going to be overpaying for the property, right? It sounds like, it sounds like the realtor has a buyer who's going to overpay for the property. You can say, look, to be honest with you, Mauricio, I don't always pay the most, honestly. And people still sell to me. Why do you think that is? And let's see what happens. Let's see what they say. You can tell them that, hey, I understand your realtor saying that your property's worth more than what you can offer, but I'm trying to give you an offer you can depend on. And I don't always pay the most, but people still sell to me. Why do you think that is? And so you want to get an answer, right? Like, well, because you do what you say, because XYZ, whatever the case may be. That's exactly right. Should we continue the conversation? If they say, look, I don't know, maybe because they were, maybe because they were dumb, then you got to move on, bro. Like, they're holding you up from talking to real prospects. Ken said, Max, once I learn Spanish, it's over. Let's go. I love for you to learn Spanish, bro. And then we can get on some calls, some live calls. So, how does the dispo and negotiation process change, if at all, in a declining market? Here we are finding massive price drops in many of the bigger markets. So the general population still hasn't caught on with what we know, right? The insider, quote unquote. So what that means is that we need to get better at negotiations pre-COVID, right? And so where we were buying, 50 cents on the dollar, 60 cents on the dollars. And what that means is that, don't get in situations like the one, Mauricio just explained, right? Move on. There's going to be a prospect for your solution. Hello, Irma?
Press 1 now to continue this call in English.
Oh, that's a workplace. So it's just got to get better at your craft, what you're doing now, right? You're getting better to talking to sellers, identifying pain points, identifying motivation, timeline, and then, sifting, moving on quick, right? Don't spend too much time. Christian says, and then, sorry, let me go back to the question one more time. And then once you're able to, because the buyers already understand what's happening, they're getting more conservative, right? If you notice, buyers aren't paying where they were paying before. They're getting more conservative. That means you got to go back to the table of negotiations, right? You got to buy the deal deeper. That's it. You got to make sure that you're negotiating, stick to your offer. The days of, hey, lock it up at 80% ARV, unless it's a creative deal, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that because the buyers have definitely got more conservative, and you just got to get better at negotiating. That's it. Solve problems. What are the problems you're solving? Christian said, what's up, Christian, bro? Good to see you on here, brother. I appreciate the support. Third-party stories are on point. Yes, 100%, man. I love third-party stories. They work really well. So let's see. Hi, Max. Greetings from Ricardo's team. Hey, Esther, how are you? Any advice with building a comfortable and non-monotonous conversations on the first call? I mean, you're hearing it now. I mean, hopefully some of the stuff that I'm talking about can help you with that. Hello? Man, we're getting a lot of voicemails today. Hopefully what I'm talking about today is can help you, but you got to learn how to mirror. Not only mirror your tone. If you're doing it over the phone, here's the thing. Hello?
Please leave your message.
Here's the thing. In person, 55% of your is body language, right? Of your sales should come from is directly due to your body language. On the phone, it goes up higher. So you have to make sure that you work on your tonality, your mirroring. And, you guys saw earlier, the guy goes, this is Mr. Christopher. Hey, Mr. Christopher, this is Mr. Max. I appreciate you taking my call. Right. And it just it creates a familiar environment for them. That's what you got to do. Assume the relationship. One mistake that I see a lot of people do is, hey, I'm just calling. I'm just looking for Esther. I was just trying to reach Esther. That doesn't assume the relationship, and the call starts bad because the what do you call it? The defenses mechanisms go way up high when you start the conversation that way. Hopefully that helped, Esther. The faster you move on, the faster you find a good prospect. Exactly. The faster you become a sifter and not a convincer, you're going to talk to more motivated sellers. So you gotta sift through a lot to get to that one point. But the more time you spend with the suspect and not a prospect, you're gonna waste your time. Abraham said, "Ha, I'm assuming it's to Ken's comment." Yep, that's true, Christian. Buy deeper deals. That's all. 100%, man. Is you gotta negotiate those deals a lot deeper. Let's see, Sebastian, good one. I got some stuff I asked sellers, but wanted to get Max take. Awesome. Here's this one right here though. Is know your buyers as well too. Hello, Deborah.
Hello.
Hi, Deborah.
Yes.
Hi, it's Max. I don't know if you can help me. I've been trying to reach the owner of North Dre Lane in Phoenix.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate that. I'm calling you because we are considering buying a couple properties in that area. You wouldn't sell that one?
No, I'm not interested at all. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, Deborah. Take care. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Such a nice lady, man. Yes, know your buyers. It's a huge, as you start to do business, and here's the reality. Christian can probably attest to this because I know he does a lot of deals. Is that what you're gonna see? Yes, it's good to have a large buyers list, 100%. Because then you have more to pull from, right? But you're gonna see that the ones that consistently buy is going to always be between 10 to 15 buyers, even less than that. I don't know, Christian, if you can attest to that. But if you know your buyers and you know their tendencies, reach out to them and ask them like, hey, what's changed in these last couple months? Where are you buying now? I know before you were here. Where are you at now? Right? Have that conversation, that human element, because they struggle too, right? And you want to make sure that you're adjusting to, especially your buyers that buy from you consistently. It's something that you should be doing, so that way you understand, what's happening in their business genuinely, right? So you need to do, it's kind of a survey, right? And like I said, you're going to always be talking to selling to the same 10 to 15 buyers. And that's on the high end. Usually it's a lot lower than that. It's great to have a huge buyers list, but it's always better to have relationships. And you're gonna, your what's called your VIP list, right? Your first look list. These are guys that you text the before it goes out on your text blast. And getting to know your buyers, their situation, attaching that human element goes a long, long, long way. All right, we're gonna let the phone ring a couple more times.
62331373772.
Great question, guys. Awesome. Appreciate it. All right, let's get in one more conversation. We'll see if we can do that. It's been a little dry today, but as far as your questions, it's great. I love it. Hello, Joanna.
Yes.
Hi, Joanna. My name is Max. I'm calling because I've been trying to reach the owner of the property on South 230th Drive in Buckeye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was calling you because we're looking to buy a couple more properties in that area. Would you consider selling that one?
No.
Okay. Do you have any other properties you would?
No.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. She said no. No. Let's see. Manuel Perez says, hit the thumbs up, like button, y'all. Let's go. Yes, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Again, for you guys that are on the live today, I'm going to give you, I know some of you already got it. That's part of the top 10 objections and rebuttals, but I want to give you those 4 that I talked about today earlier in the call that we dove deep on. If you didn't look at that, if you didn't catch that part of the call this morning or when we first started, you should go back and watch that. I dove deep into the 4 objections and then what you should say on the rebuttals. And then how come I have a structure that way? It's actually, I recommend that you go back and watch it. So Raymond said, yo, what's up, man? But guys, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, share this live with someone. It really would help me out to grow my channel. It's going to help me out to, keep putting content out. Listen, tomorrow, Wednesday evening, I'm going to go live on a Zoom call. If you guys haven't registered yet, the link's going to be there. I'm going to be talking about sales appointment etiquette, the things that you should do, after going to hundreds of, in-person appointments and then making, more than, close to thousands of dials and having sales conversations. I want to give you guys something that can help you so that way it increases your conversion rate. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to make sure that you understand that you're always going to default to the highest level of training that you have. And listen, in this market, we need to increase. You guys saw this. We've been talking about this earlier. Christian's been hitting on it. You guys have questions. Sebastian had a question on this, and you need to increase your level of training in this market that's turning around. There's going to be buyers. There's buyers in every single market, and we don't have no one picking up. So I'm going to end this here now. So there's buyers in every single market, right? There's buyers in every market. It's just that what's going to change is the deal, right? The deal. How does the deal look? And basically, and what happens is that you need to get better, and that's why I want to do that free Zoom call tomorrow. If you haven't registered, the link's below. We're going to talk about sales appointment etiquette, some protocols that you should do. Now, a lot of them are going to be like, man, that's a lot what I should be doing. But you want to, like I said, you're always going to default to your highest level of training. And if you don't train, if you don't practice, if you don't do certain behaviors day in, day out. Listen, guys, the only reason why I can do what I can do, and you guys all ask all these questions, it's not because I learned it in a book. It's things, going out to, like I said, hundreds of physical appointments and opening the door and the seller, taking me through the house. Here, look at all the repairs. I had to learn to do certain things, making sure that before I went in the house, what was the outcome that I wanted, write down my objections. But I don't want to dive deep into that till tomorrow. I'm going to get into that. And I want you guys to join me. It's a free Zoom call. I'm not going to charge for anything. Just like here, right? It's a free Zoom call. I want you guys to join me, and you haven't registered. You need to register, or else you guys are not going to get the Zoom link. So make sure that you are registering. So let me answer a couple more questions, and then I'm going to jump off, guys. Let's see. I had an instance where a seller got mad at me. I made a stupid mistake. Well, I'm glad you acknowledged that. I referred the seller to an end buyer for a referral fee. Good way to squat up. Have you ever done that? I don't referred it to a buyer. I would have got it under an option agreement. Anytime that happens, I would get it under an option agreement, Mauricio. The option agreement is very powerful. End buyer. Okay, so maybe they got qualified through conventional financing. I think there's stuff missing in your comment or question. But if it's an end buyer, that's going to do conventional, I mean, I don't know if you're an agent. I don't know how you could get paid a fee unless you're licensed. I'm little not too sure about your question. So, Manuel says, I want a Max Jimenez Closer's Laugh pomade. Let's go, man. Appreciate the support. Thank you, guys. Let's see. La práctica hace el maestro. Did you guys understand that? La práctica hace el maestro. And so practice makes you a master. Remember that. Again, I want you guys to be on there tomorrow. we're going to talk about sales appointment etiquette protocols that you should, so that way you can get better, because you're always going to default to the highest level of training that you have. And if it's not much, you're going to fall to the seller's sell system. Okay, 2 more questions. Let's see. Max, do you even try to talk to delusional sellers? They compare oranges and apples to make their house worth more. And when I try to explain, I come off as offensive. Yes. Okay, so a couple of things here is, yes, I talk to delusional sellers. Number 2 is I don't try to explain my position. What I do is I put them on the spotlight. I put them on the spotlight and let them defend their comment. What you must be saying that for a reason, just out of curiosity. One of my calls, this guy wanted me, he says, yeah, once you fix it, the property's going to be worth $440,000. And he wanted $380 for it. Right. And I wanted to be at $320. And so I heard him, I was talking to him. And then I said, okay, so just out of curiosity, because I'm looking at your area, your neighborhood, and how did you come up with that number? Now, you see, I'm not defending, I'm not explaining, I'm asking, how did you come up with that number? And he said, well, he goes, Zillow, right? And I said, oh, interesting, Zillow. I said, man, I said, I don't know about you, but I would be very leery to talk to a company that lost, or to get an evaluation from a company that lost over $500 million. My thing is that I can't pay you that because I don't see no comparables. And you know what he told me? This is how delusional he was. Well, he goes, well, just make it up. So do I talk to them? Yes, but I don't explain my position. Hopefully this helps with your question, because you're going to figure out what's going on, right? Maybe it's a lack of information, maybe it's a lack of whatever. You want to make sure that, and then move on as quickly as possible. Don't spend too much time on it. 1, 2, 3 questions at max, and then you move on. So Mauricio's okay explaining his question. No, I gave the end buyer the seller info, and the end buyer got it under contract and paid me a referral fee. Or is going to pay me a referral fee. It hasn't closed yet. Yeah, I think I mean there's nothing wrong there. What I would say is if I mean I'd probably do the same thing. If you're gonna if it's not getting anything compared to getting that, then I would go with that for sure. So, and then last question I'm gonna answer. V says, which sources could you recommend me to get into to pull the list of buyers? Thank you. So free sources is going to be your title company. So make sure that you have a relationship with your title company. If you are an agent, real estate license agent, you can pull from your MLS all the cash transactions for free. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Paid sources, you can do batch leads, you could do prop stream, and just pull the ones that have sales, and then you're gonna skip trace the LLC. So you could do that. List source, I know there's list source was used really well for that. Nowadays you can do investor lift as well too. They already come with those lists. So, but guys, I really appreciate all your questions, all your comment, and if you got value out of this, tag me on your story. Say, hey, I was on the call with Max. I'm gonna send you guys the 4 top objections and rebuttals. I really appreciate every single one of you, and hopefully you got value. And basically, I'll see you guys tomorrow night on the free call. Don't forget to register. A free Zoom call. If you don't register, you can't join the call. And thank you, everyone. Talk to you guys later.
He's one of the greatest guys I've ever met, a huge inspiration. The advice he gave me made me like $50,000 in 1 hour. A super fucking human, he just doesn't give up, he doesn't quit. He's one of the most well-known salespeople out there, sales trainers in the fucking country. Very impressive guy. Give it up for my guy, Max Jimenez.